What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another exciting episode today. Real quick, obviously, to start, big shout out to Steadfast again. My sole sponsor at this point, but beyond grateful for them. They Steadfast has been getting me through a long week so far, and it's Tuesday. I guess you're watching this on Wednesday, but it's been busy days, and Steadfast is getting me through that. And also, like, I wear this hat everywhere. It's just fantastic. Anyways, really exciting episode, really fun episode. Catching up with Sean, and we went to school together and lived on the same floor, and it was a fun episode talking with him and getting more info about him and his past and his current and his future, and some really just incredible insight at the end of this episode. And we end every episode with a piece of advice, one piece of advice for anybody listening. And Sean's was fantastic. Really appreciated it in my own personal experience. And so I hope you enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to the comments. Sean.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Long time no see or talk.
I know we haven't talked in way too long. I feel terrible about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, life happens.
I think the last time we talked was we were in Arizona still, and we were talking about meeting up for it was some football game that was going to, I think it was BYU Notre Dame or something like that was going to be in Vegas.
Yes.
I think that was the last time we talked.
Yeah,
which is not okay. Right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. No, but we've been good. How have you been?
Good. Yeah. Just living that thing called life, doing what we can in this world, trying to find your path and your journey kind of thing.
That's perfect.
What makes you tick, what makes me tick kind of thing. So,
yeah. I love that. Well, I'm glad I'm having you on the podcast then, because that's what it's all about. I love that.
It was really funny. I told all my employees today, I was like, I'm going to be on a podcast. I'm so cool.
Yeah. I had Jake McMahon. I had him on a few weeks ago, and not like a ton of traffic when I'm posting stuff about our episode, but then I don't know how, I think he like screen recorded or something, but he posted a clip, and he got like all these people that were like, dude, you were on a podcast. And he was like, yeah, Joe's a buddy from Colors. And that was like one of my most viewed videos was when he posted it. Nobody sees anything when I post it. So
of course not.
You'll have to tell them to go look for it. But
it's like,
no, it's been fun.
I'll post on Facebook and nothing happens. But if I do something with my mom and tag my mom that I'm doing it with her, suddenly there's like 60 likes and shares. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's cool.
Yeah. All the people that you have no idea who they are, and they're like, Sean's grown up so much. And you're like,
I haven't seen you since you were
Who are you?
Yeah.
I love it. So, okay. So we have talked a little bit, though, about kind of the podcast. And I feel like you might be one of the more informed guests that I've had on so far, just as far as what I'm trying to do, and helping kids, and not just kids, but really anyone who needs it, right? But just kind of finding that balance in life, and like you had said, like trying to find like your path and your purpose and all of that. And so I'd love to. I realized when we started talking, and I was like, I want to have Sean on the podcast. I realized like going to school together and the team and even volleyball, like we spent so much time together, and I really don't know that much about your background. So I would love to hear, like, if you would like to dive into kind of your background a little bit, and then we could get to SVU and all that stuff. But I think the little that I know about you is you at least grew up Catholic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then multicultural home also, correct?
Yeah. Mom's from Spain.
Okay. So
we wear very proudly, and we might as well
Is that a jersey? Is that a kit?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I got the star. I need 2 stars.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. So if you'd be open to it,
yeah.
I mean, dive in. I'm here to listen.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, you know, you're from Virginia, so you're from the mountains. I'm from the water of Virginia, as I
Right. That's right. Yep.
so a Hampton Roads region, East Coast, you know, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, uh, Navy. We're a military town, right? You know, some 400,000 people work at 13 different bases around me, and
Gosh. I
so
didn't realize
it's
there were
crazy. I drive
13.
through a tunnel every day to go to work. That's
Yep.
always backed up. But yeah,
Yep.
no. I mean, I turned 31 this year, so I did. I started
Oh
my
my
life.
gosh.
I would say I started my life as a Catholic. Grew up Catholic. Obviously, mom's from Spain, which is a very Catholic country.
Yep. Yep.
My father was Irish on his side of the family, which is where Notre Dame comes into play.
Yep. Yep.
You would think one of us went to Notre Dame, but by default, as a Catholic Irish, you just root for them, even if you didn't.
Yep. Yep.
So, um,
Jake said the same thing.
so, yeah. And I mean, I went to a Catholic school all the way up through sixth
Oh,
grade.
okay. Wow.
Had nuns. We went to church every Friday. We had to wear a uniform. We had to, you know, the whole kit and
Jeez.
caboodle.
Yeah.
And I transferred to public school in seventh grade. My sister, who's an older sister, went all the way through 12th grade. Um, I was a very hyperactive kid.
No.
No, right? Yeah. Would have never been that. Was always kind of in troublemaker. In third grade, I remember being in the principal's office probably every day. But I don't know if it's just the nature of private school or Catholic school in general, but it was, I mean, you know, I remember like I got in trouble for walking in line backwards on the way to church, or
Oh my gosh.
yeah, little things, right? And
Yeah,
then
like let a kid be a kid, right?
I don't know if they just didn't know how to handle me or what to do, because you know you'd get in trouble, and then they'd give you silent lunch. Well, I had a friend group. We were like 12 boys. So when one of us got in trouble, the others would get in trouble on purpose
Yep.
because they would sit you at the same silent lunch table. So what do you do when you can't talk to each other? When you're 6, you throw food at each other. You know, it just
Yep. Yep. I
so
love that.
I think by 6th grade, the nuns politely asked my parents that we don't think this is working out for Sean, and to explore ulterior options.
You got kicked out of Catholic school.
So yeah, no, if my mom sees this episode, she'll laugh and agree with that. But so yeah, I mean, and growing up, we went to church every Sunday. Um, Especially, you know, anytime family was in town, we always went to church, you know, that kind of thing. Unless me and my sister were both in soccer. So when we started doing travel soccer, you know, if we had a tournament out of town, obviously we didn't go to church that weekend. So my parents, you know, it never felt forced, but you know, when you're a kid, you kind of go along with mom and dad and do what you
Yep.
do. And then as we grew older, you know, my parents left it up to us to make our decisions and figure out what we wanted to do. But yeah, and then yeah, the multicultural side. Obviously, my dad met my mom stationed in Spain, so
Oh,
he was Air
okay.
Force.
Okay.
So yeah, they met in Spain. They were actually both a designated driver at a Halloween party. So it's
That's awesome.
yeah, kind of cute story. So I mean, growing up, yeah, I mean, I had a Real Madrid onesie when I was like 1 years old.
Of
And,
course.
you know, we had a Spain jersey. I had a Spain jersey growing up. I always rooted for Spain first, unless they were playing the US, and then I would kind of root for the US. It was a house divided.
Okay. Sure.
My
Sure.
dad was also born in Germany, so he supported Germany quite heavily
Okay. Valid.
because his father was Air Force. So,
Gee whiz. Okay.
yeah, so he actually had a German birth certificate, so he always
Oh,
rooted.
cool.
One of his favorite players of all time was Michael Ballack. So,
Oh my gosh.
underrated midfielder, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I never kind of grew up. I mean, I spoke Spanish with my mom, but she grew up in Australia. She did high school, basically. Um, so, yeah, the whole story, to make it long story but short. So,
We got time. We could do a long story.
so her parents actually lived in Africa during Spanish colonialism.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep, they were farming.
Okay.
Kind of had land, little things like that. So basically, when decolonialism and independence and the de-escalation of Europe and Africa started happening,
Okay.
my grandma was pregnant with my mom
Okay.
when that all happened.
Wow.
And the Spanish government
Jeez.
basically came in and was like, we have this many ships left. If you don't leave now, we can't get you out. And at the time in the world, the only two countries accepting European immigrants from Africa were Canada or Australia. So they chose Australia. So they went back to Spain. My mom was born in Spain.
Okay.
Waited for visa paperwork and all that stuff. And then by the time she was like 1 or 2, they were in Australia. So she was in Australia from 2 to 22. So she was fluent in English. So growing up, like I said, we would speak Spanish. We would try. We would switch into it.
Right.
After a while, it was no longer kind of like her first thought. So we spoke English. But for summers, the day school got out, I would be put on a plane and I would fly by myself to Spain. And my mom's family would pick me up, and I wouldn't come home until the day before school started.
Oh,
So when kids went to Disney World or did other things, I was in Europe for 3 months.
that sounds amazing.
Not a bad, right?
No, yeah, I would take that.
So,
Kids, you want to go to Disney World for 3 hours or go to Spain for the entire summer? Jeez.
yeah, and so we did the typical, and my uncle...
It's probably cheaper than Disney World, too.
Oof, probably.
Man.
But yeah, I would basically go by myself. My parents would work during the summer, and there I went. And it was nice because my uncle had 2 boys, and one boy was 1 year older than me, and one boy was 1 year younger than me.
Oh, nice.
So us 4 boys did things that we went to the beach every day, we surfed every day. But my uncle was a hard ass, excuse my French, in the sense that, like we had to do sports. Like if it was raining, we went to the pool and swam laps.
Cool.
Or we did tennis, or we did we weren't sitting around. So
Sure.
And I had to do math homework. My mom made him do math homework, made me, do math in the summer, and he was a very good at math. He was a dentist, so
Okay.
it was fun. He has to have to pay me, so he would pay me to do times tables because I wouldn't do them. And then Cheeky Sean, who was a hyperactive, not a great student, just start filling them out with random numbers, and he didn't catch it until like a month later, and was like, "You suck. You got one." So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. But it was nice because my grandma, I'd spend months with my grandma, so I would speak Spanish then.
Okay.
But yeah, in the States, I mean, yeah, we were always a house divided when it came to sports.
Sure.
So yeah, and then as growing up, we kind of, as sports became bigger and starting the process of, well, do college, do you not do college? So church kind of fizzled out. We always went still, but it wasn't as not a priority is not the right word, but it wasn't on the forefront, I guess.
Sure. Not as prominent. Yeah.
My sister went out to college. She went to the Naval Academy, so it was a very big.
Wow.
She was always busy, or when she came home, she could only be home for 2 days before she had to come back, so you had to make the most of it, so a lot of that. Yeah. And then, of course, Easter, Christmas, your big, Palm Sunday, your big ones, you of course were in church. But it was quite a big part of our life. My dad's brothers and sisters were religious. My mom's family is religious. So it was a big part of our life. Obviously, going to Catholic school was an experience, and I have plenty of experience. I found a box from kindergarten that I still had notes that Sean pulled his red card today, or Sean threw a pencil across the room. It was hilarious. My mom and I were like cracking up. I mean, it was so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then I wasn't like a multi-sport athlete. I stuck to soccer. I did other things for fun, but I'd say the only competitive thing I did was soccer. My family was a golf family too, so whenever the Breen were around, we'd play a scramble or we'd do this. So that was kind of always on and off, but never competitive.
Sure.
And then
Are you guys still doing the memorial for your dad?
no,
Okay.
we haven't in a couple of years. So the company that did it, all those guys that were with him that organized that have kind of
Yeah.
shifted companies, or they still do it, but it's not as so. We did it for the first 5 or 6 years, and we
Yeah, it was wild.
we did our thing. So,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I mean, so it's still there, and they still use they still call it the Kevin Breen Memorial Tournament, and they still use that same logo and stuff. So
Okay.
that's nice. But yeah, we've
Yeah.
talked about maybe trying to go again. Now that it's been a couple of years, and there are different people in that organization, but so yeah,
Cool. And is that so behind you? Is that a head cover?
it is.
Is that your clubs back there?
That's my roommates.
Okay.
Clubs, but mine are there, and there's an name bag.
Oh, nice bag.
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah, so I got fitted last year for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Because I always had hand-me-downs or use my dad's old set.
Yep.
So I went to the PGA store in Richmond, Virginia, and spent my big boy paycheck on actual true set for myself. So, because
what'd you get?
So I got P790s and the QI35s.
Nice.
So my buddies and I, over the years, we've always played on and off, but I'd say probably 3 years ago, we started getting really, really into it because we are all former athletes, and of course we want to beat each other. So, we started keeping track of handicap and, doing all that stuff. So it got pretty serious. And every now and then, we'll play a scramble or, things like that just to kind of change it up. But
love that. So what are you shooting now?
The last time I played, I had an 84.
Okay.
I'm right around like 80. I'd say on average 86 to 88.
Okay, that's
so my
good.
Next goal is 70.
Yeah, there was a video put out by the PGA, I think, and they interviewed. It was like one of those like super quick, like one question answer type thing. They interviewed. I want to say it was like 10 of them, and the question was, what does an average golfer need to shoot to be considered, a decent golfer? What do they need to shoot to be a decent golfer? And the first one was Scotty, and he was like 70s and just like walked away.
Yeah.
But then like everyone else was like 80s, low 90s, like that's fine.
Yeah.
Like Scott 70s walks out. Thanks, Scotty. Okay.
Yeah,
gosh,
it's one of those things. I always tell people it's one of the easiest sports to pick up because anybody can swing a club, but it's one of the hardest to truly master.
Yeah,
because there's so many variables: fairway, weather, rain, wind, pitch. If you're elevated, it's like, oh my god, there's so much to think about. So but I try to play every week.
That's awesome. I haven't played outside in years. I've played since we've been in Utah.
You have like a little indoor back nine, right?
Yep. Yeah, I work at a simulator facility.
So.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're nice. It's been really fun. I think we've been in Utah for what's the fourth, so just like 2 months now. And I've probably played 40 rounds of golf. Because I can play a round in 45 minutes. Yeah. It's awesome. And so Full Swing are the simulators that we use, which are, as I'm told by the owners, one of like the top 3 ones you can use. It's nice, right? I just go in, it's simulator. I try to get people to get memberships and then I golf for a few hours. So it's fun. I'll play outside again sometime. I got to get my own stuff though. I've been using our loaner clubs that we have because so I'm very jealous of your bag setup because I've been a TaylorMade fan since I was like 10 years old. And when we were in Arizona and we decided we were going to go back to SVU for me to finish my degree, and I played on the team, Mo was like, you know what, you're gonna golf in college. We're gonna get you nice clubs. So that was 2019. So I got like custom fitted TaylorMade M3s, like custom grips, everything was fitted. I used the same driver. I've had a Aero Burner driver since they came out in 2015.
Nice.
And I've never got rid of it. And then I also had a Jet Speed 3-wood. My wedges were all TaylorMade. I got a TaylorMade part. So my whole bag was TaylorMade. And I had to sell everything except my driver and my 3-wood to fund the move. So I'm very jealous right now. I've been entering every single like iron giveaway I can find. The big Tacoma one that just finished.
Well, it's funny, I got these ones, and then this year TaylorMade decides to release a blackjack edition of the P790s. And
they're so nice.
So I commented on all your social medias and was like,
yeah.
Hey, if I set my bat, can you like customize it with the bat?
Oh yeah, I've gone back and forth on like the blacked out irons, but every time someone releases a new set, they just look so nice. They look so nice, and they don't look as dirty when they get grass on them. And
yeah,
stuff.
they're a little easier to kind of
keep looking nice.
And, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, no, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing all that. Sorry, I took us off on a tangent. I could talk about golf for hours, man. No, I like all that and being a house divided, but it was like, it sounds like it was like a unified division, if that makes sense. Like
yeah. I mean, my sister played soccer, my dad played soccer.
Yeah.
Force. My mom didn't really play sports, but she loves sports, loves watching it. Especially when she came to the States with my dad for the first time. And she really tried to get into like American football and that kind of stuff. Now she did play a lot of handball growing up in Australia.
Okay. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course growing up, cricket or rugby was always on TV. So yeah, it was kind of like sports in general. My dad loved basketball. More college sports. We didn't really have I didn't have an NFL team or an NBA team or any of that stuff. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I said, my sister Nicole played soccer, my dad played soccer, I played soccer. So I mean, definitely that was the main unifying force of the family. And then of course we all rooted for Notre Dame football.
Yeah.
And then
tennis too, no?
Yeah, I played a little bit just for fun.
Okay.
Especially when I had summers in Spain, we would do tennis lessons.
Oh, sure.
My people would make us do tennis lessons. And of course, growing up, obviously, Rafa Nadal is the end-all, be-all of Spanish tennis, of course.
Yeah.
And then, being from northern Spain, where my mom is from, Formula One is massive.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so, yeah, we always had that on. And my dad also watched NASCAR. So, yeah, it was kind of just like a hodgepodge of things. Sports were all on TV, whether we played them, not, had a team, not, but so, yeah.
Yeah, that's us too, to a T. Anue actually just started getting into F1, so we're watching every race now. And he wants to watch every F1 race, every IndyCar race, and any race that's not NASCAR, he's all about it. And he loves Cars, the movie, so he loves Lightning McQueen, but he thinks NASCAR is so boring. But IndyCar or F1, the F1 he loves F1. So we've been getting into that too. But yeah, we're the same. And you know that. That's me and Mo to a T. Sports are on the TV all the time. That's just, and our kids like everything. He also, we're terrified. He loves lacrosse.
Oh.
He wants to play lax so bad, and lax is huge out here
now.
It's
a separate saving.
Yep. Well, I'm just gonna start like slipping like 50s to all the hospitals in the area and just build up some kind of credit because I know.
My beer.
Yeah, I know. We're like, look, 6 years from now, we're gonna get a random visit, and you're just gonna have this credit on here. Okay, it's gonna be crazy. It's fun though. No, that's awesome. So yeah, soccer, yeah, it takes over, man. And that's kind of the point of the podcast, really, that I'm trying to help kids understand, is that, like, kind of like you were saying, like, not necessarily that it took priority, right? But you guys did make it a focus, right? You did make it a focus, and that it's okay to do that. So with that being said, talk to me about, like, your process when it came to, like, looking at and kind of deciding to go to SVU, because at that time, you're talking like junior, senior year. I'm assuming you guys are still like travel ball, but also like Catholic family, looking at a Mormon school at that time, right? So what was that process kind of like, or how did that happen for you?
So yeah, I guess an untraditional process by the standards of looking at that process. I had no intention to go to college
Mm,
at all. Um,
okay.
I was a decent student, never a great student. Truthfully, I did 4 years of high school ROTC. Um,
Oh, okay.
and so everybody thought I was going to go in the military,
Yeah.
which was an option for a long time. Um, but my senior year, my travel team went to the seven-a-side winter tournament that Lynchburg does.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, I had no intention on playing. I didn't know if I was going to go to college. My parents were looking at a local community college kind of thing at the time. We didn't know. I definitely wasn't going to the Naval Academy like my sister. And that's quite a rigorous program. Um,
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, I had no intention to go. Um, And then I would say probably a week after that tournament, I got a message from Brennan Hand, who was at the time the assistant coach, who I think
Yeah.
now at the Citadel.
Gosh. Yeah. Just recently. Yep. Yep.
And he sent me an email saying, "Hey, we happen to be at this tournament. Um, we saw you play. Have you thought about college? Have you thought about college soccer? Um, kind of those kinds of questions." And I was just like, no, I haven't. And so I don't know if there was another tournament I went to in the Lexington area or somewhere in that area. I can't remember what exact tournament, where he was there. And so we met in person. And that's when he kind of brought up SVU, which me, my mom, and my dad had never heard of. To
Right.
tell the truth, we had never even heard of Buena Vista, which as a Spanish person is
Yeah.
weird. It's Buna.
I'm sure it's terrible. Yeah. I'm sure
And
that's been
I remember
terrible.
like moving in, and my mom's like, "Why is this town called what it is?"
I won't say it, but why is it the way it is?
So, but no, they introduced, the school, and they talked about being a Mormon school, which my mother, I will say, was a little hesitant,
Sure.
because I think it's one of those things when you don't grow up around it and you don't necessarily know people from around it, you only have Hollywood or books or things to go off of.
Mm,
So
sure.
my mother,
Sure.
I don't know, maybe thought two people in a white shirt were going to come knocking on our door next. So, um, and my mother is very much a researcher. She deep dives in books for months at a time about a topic. Um,
Nice.
so I think she read at least 25 different books about LDS, the main kind of church, what is
Sure.
that, we all think you guys all have multiple wives kind of thing. So what
Yeah.
is that media difference between what we're actually studying? Um,
Right.
so she really did went kind of on a deep dive. Um, and so I don't know if we went to the school. I think I did. Yeah, I went up there and we kind of just walked around. And I can't remember. We went to lunch with Brennan and kind of just talked about it. And it was one of those things that I got home, and we kind of looked up, okay, SAT, ACT, what do we kind of need to do? What do we need to do to get mindset? And I think for me, it was more of just I was having an opportunity to continue playing the sport I loved. Um,
Yeah. Okay.
and so school kind of was like a back burner in that conversation,
Sure. Sure.
which in hindsight, I don't know if was the right thing, right? School should have obviously been the first thing, but it is what it is, and we're here where we are today. But
Yeah.
so no, and that's kind of how it happened. And I mean, as far as area goes, I don't know what you cannot love about the Blue Ridge Parkway and being in that part of Virginia with the mountains, and it's really quite beautiful up there. And because I wasn't a good student, I loved, and I think my mom loved it more than me, that I only had 10 or 12 other students per teacher.
Yeah.
So it was really a focus on the student, and rather than being, number 422 in a tech, like Virginia Tech, their freshman math class is 480 kids in an auditorium with all laptops. So I think there was a bit of that. And so I think for that, my mom felt secure in that sense. And of course, we looked up where the local Catholic church was, and they had a youth group or, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, so that's kind of how that process came about. Like I said, I mean, I had no intention to go to school. I didn't know I was going to go to college. I didn't think I could personally go to college. I didn't know, because growing up, they always tell you, "Oh, you're not going to get away with this in college," and then you get to college, and it's like, "Oh, I'm sick today, no class." Oh, okay,
Okay.
And kind of that independence, having to create that self-study schedule and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
especially as an athlete.
yeah, and then obviously, it was one of those things we had to decide. Okay, if I'm going to be a student athlete, I had to be there 2 weeks before school started. And, you're playing practice 4 times a day, and you have games, and you have travel, and you're on a bus, and you're doing this. And it's so, and it's not Notre Dame, so we don't get tutors on the bus, right? So
you don't get anything on the bus. You don't get a bus. You don't get a bus. You get a van.
So
half the time the AC doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There were some fun moments. So I think, and then, it was one of those things where being 3 hours from my house was kind of close enough that, we were close enough that we could be there if there was something wrong. But it was kind of far enough, just far enough to kind of be your own sense of independent for a little bit.
Sure. I was going to ask about, because I've noticed actually that about 5 to 10% of the people that do listen to the podcast are from outside of the US. And I was going to ask about if you could talk kind of about the little bit of like geographical culture shock being in the same state. But like you said, I grew up in Virginia and you grew up in Virginia, and we grew up in two different worlds when it comes to geography. I was in the mountains and you were by the ocean.
Right.
So could you talk about that a little bit? Just kind of the culture shock with that? Or if you had any, even.
I mean, there was obviously there's definitely culture shock. I think if you ask my mother, the culture shock was more on her than it was for me. Because I mean, I can talk to a wall for 4 hours, so if I needed to. So I mean, I knew, and I think what helped me personally was I knew I was going to be on the soccer team. So I knew I had a set group of 12, 13, 15, however many other, not necessarily that I had to be friends with, but I knew I was at least going to have a connection already. So as far as that go, I wasn't going to this Mormon college with nobody around me that I didn't know at all. So like at least there was somewhat of that connection. But I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't know if we even knew what LDS was, right?
Sure.
There is a church. There is an LDS center. I don't know. It's quite a big building. And it is near us. And, it was kind of on the way to my dad's work. So you pass it, you kind of read the sign and you go, okay, but you read the sign and we move on about our day and we kind of don't think about. So it's not that it wasn't in the area. So, but it was definitely a culture shock. Especially when we got for the first time the student code, right? Like no coffee, no tea, those kinds of things. because as somebody who comes from Spain, yeah, I've been having coffee since I was like 8. It just
Yeah.
you have it after lunch, you have it at breakfast, you have it at dinner, So, um, I remember, you could probably ask your dad. My mom had quite a few phone calls with him. Just
Oh, he was the dean at the time, huh?
yeah,
That's
just
right. Oh
questions
boy.
about, like, is my son coming home in LDS? Like, how, right? Like, how does it work for non-LDS students? Like, and so I think they
Yeah.
had great conversations. So yeah, so I don't know if culture shock was the right answer, because for me in my head at the time, being 18, I just cared about playing soccer. So none
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the hoopla around that really
Yeah.
bothered me. Obviously, it was weird to have those kinds of big differences in your life like that. Um, and obviously, when you're 18, it was weird. It was like there's like 600 people that don't drink coffee. That's kind of like, who are these people, right? Like, kind of thing. At first,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
um, yeah, so it wasn't a big culture shock, but it was definitely different. And like I said, there was some hesitancies. Um, but I mean, like I said, my mom talked with your dad a lot, actually. And they had great conversations and felt very comfortable about the place we were going to, and the safety of the place we were going to. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and for me as a student, I never felt once that, like, I was trying to be converted or trying to get
Mm,
on board with you guys, right?
yeah. Yep.
I
Yep. Yep.
never felt like that, not once. Because yeah, and I really met quite a lot of great people there. Some of people I'm still in contact with or lost contact with, but even, just hanging out with people. Like you had Court on the other day. He lived across the hall. Sam Bunnell was my roommate. You know,
Yeah.
and that was a funny one because I was actually paired with footballer and he was paired with footballer. And I don't know how his mom contacted me through Facebook. I'm pretty sure it was his mom, or him, something, and was like, "Hey, you're with a footballer and my son's with a footballer, but you guys are both soccer players. Do you want to like change roommates or whatever it was?" I don't know how that process
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
went. So yeah, we ended up, that's how me and Sam were roommates.
Okay. Do you remember who the football guys were?
One was Andrew next door.
Okay.
Yeah. What was it?
Oh, yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yep. And then there was another guy, Eastern European accent, was on my floor, but he was a very big dude. I mean, you could tell he was a footballer. I don't remember his name, but he was a footballer.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I
Eastern
mean, like
Europe.
I said, there were obviously differences in the way I grew up and the way going to this school people grew up. But I mean, I never felt uncomfortable. I never felt out of place, truthfully. Um, I still, even to this day, I follow SVU on social media and follow their
Yeah.
sports teams. And,
Yeah.
because it really was, in my opinion, a great place to be. It was a great school. It was great feeling. And I think because it was so small, a lot of people felt like family rather than, being at a school
Yeah.
with 20,000 kids. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So never, and then like I said, of course, my mom found the local Catholic church, and so, and
Yeah.
she met the man who was in charge of, like, he had like a student group, and so on Sundays we would go to church, and then they did pizza and drinks for all the students who like also went to VMI and Washington and Lee and stuff like that.
That Professor Cox?
No, he worked
Okay.
for the church.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I don't remember his name, but because Ryan Smith was
Well, yep.
there, who was
Yep.
one of the other three Catholics, and then there was another man. So I think he was lacrosse. So us three went together a lot of times.
Okay. Cool.
So
Very
yeah, so there was still a piece of that side of home that felt like home,
Mm,
doing that kind
yeah.
of
Yep.
stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I never felt out of place. I never felt uncomfortable. And I think having the soccer guys helped a lot, especially when there's only like 13 of you, and SVU had only been D3 for like a year at that point, and so there were lots of learning and love to go into that. We were pulling lacrosse guys just so we could get a sub. So,
Kai and gosh, man, no, that's good. That was one of my other questions too. Was kind of how was your experience at SVU as someone who's not LDS, and at the time it was like someone's here who's not LDS. Like you're one of, like you said, you're one of 3 Catholics on campus. Like now I think it's gotten to either it's like under 90% or right around 90% now. So and the school's bigger, so the number's significantly better now too. But yeah, that 2013, 2014, that was like, I think we were up to like 97% at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I remember some people joking, like, wow, you're like one of 2 Catholics around here.
Which was a joke, but also kind of completely legit.
So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, again, kind of the differences in just kind of worlds. And I think now that I look back at it, now that I'm older, it shaped a little bit of who you are. Kind of going from a household or I guess a routine that is the same every week and every day, and you do the same things and you don't think of something different. And then you go to a place like that and suddenly your routine is different. And there are all these people who don't do any of the things you did. It's a bad thing. But so it wasn't a learning curve. For example, it was the first time we traveled. I think it was a scrimmage. For some reason, when I read the student code, I swear to God, and I will say it right now, I thought it said on campus. Okay. The no. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, well, I was representing the school. That's kind of stupid of me to think that way. But so we went to an Italian restaurant after a game. And what does Sean do? Sean
gets a little coffee.
Dinner. Yeah. And who am I sitting next to? Maxwell Doxey, the president of the student body. And everybody's looking at me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what are you doing? Post-dinner ritual? I don't know. Like, and I mean, I called my mom. I was like so upset. I was like, I think it's trouble. Like, I swear it said on campus. Like, what am I doing? Yeah. And then my mom called your dad again.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, like, he will have coffee when he's at home for Thanksgiving. It's like, it's
just so you know.
Yeah, that was my first like true like, oh wow, yeah, like things are different, right? And now, like I said, now that I'm older, I get, right? I had an SVU shirt and I was a soccer team. I was a student of SVU, so I was representing the school. So silly little me. But yeah, it was very funny.
You had to be sitting next to Max. Golly.
Who didn't say anything, which was very nice. Because he is a sweetheart.
Yep. Oh, I love Max.
Yep. And then it was one of those things, I think, like the week after I went to one of those like student council thingies. And, I put on a shirt and a tie, and, Max sat next to me and was like, no, he's a great kid, I promise. So he went to bat for me, and I was like, look, and I was honest. I was like, I totally swear it said on campus. I'm so sorry.
You had an honor hearing for drinking coffee at an Italian restaurant after a game?
Well, I don't know about that, but no, it was funny. It was funny for sure. I definitely got like a, hey, let's not do this again, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. That's funny. So that started my college experience. Oh no, like, and you're 18.
Sure.
I'm gonna get kicked out. I'm going home. Like,
right.
Right. It's the world. Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because that's in season. That's first semester. You're thinking you still got 5 months left of school. And oh my gosh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, that's one of the things that I've enjoyed about catching up with so many SVU people is getting to talk about SVU. And how many things have changed and how things are different and how things are the same and all that. And
I am a little. I will say I'm a little jealous that people don't have to shave to go eat. Okay.
oh my gosh, there's so many things. Like, yeah, they don't have to shave anymore. The dress code is like, the dress code's completely different. It's like by the spirit of the law now, which whatever. But yeah, a little bit bitter about some of those things. Like when
Yep.
I was an
Yep.
RA,
I had to get
if I didn't shave in the morning, yeah, if I didn't shave in the morning as an RA and I had to go like do breakfast duty, I'd get sent back like to go shave. And I'm like,
Yeah, you denied.
like not even like this. Did I deny you a couple times? Oops.
Yeah, I had to go get a
Sorry.
shave kit that basically said because I break out. I couldn't shave. I literally couldn't shave.
Well, yeah.
You know
You know who came up with those?
who?
My dad.
Well, look at that. An awesome fact.
He was like, you know what? This keeps happening to like half the football team. Bunch of like these guys, they can't
We're a
shave
bunch
all
of
the time.
18-year-olds who now have to shave every day. Like, what did they
Every
expect?
day. Yeah. He would when my dad first became the dean, he would credit card people all the time, like just for fun, like not to be a stickler about it, but he would just like walk around the dining hall and you just like feel this credit card across your face, and like if you could hear it, he'd be like, "Oh, go shave," and yeah. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
I mean, so it really truly was a great time. Obviously, like, people like Court and Sam, Court I hung out with all the time.
All the time.
Sam
Yeah.
left first semester to start his mission. Um, but yeah, and you have people like Anoke from volleyball, and I happen to be friends with two of the tallest people at school, as one of the shortest people at school, with Cooper and Zach, who are on the tennis team. Cooper was 6. I think I have a photo of me in between Cooper and Zach, and I'm like, like it's just. Well, yeah, I had a lot of fun. And I remember going to like Nathan Seeberger's house, and we would play League of Legends.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I truly have some great memories that I hold on to. Even though I went a year, and I was only there for a year, because the school part caught up with me, and it didn't work out. So I got the little letter in the mail that said, because you're an athlete, your GPA was this, please don't come back. Or, you have to increase it.
Right.
Which kind of sucked because the coach changed. And I remember him sitting like Court and I down, like, hey, as of right now, you two are like some of my only two coming back, blah, blah, blah. So, I really felt proud to come back, but obviously it just didn't work out. So I was a little bummed about that, but especially because after I left, the goalkeeper, his name's Colin, he was actually from Chesapeake, which is around me.
Yep.
So yeah, he ended up being there and that kind of stuff. So
yeah. No, I love Colin. Me and Colin were super close. We when I went back to finish my degree, I think he was the assistant at that time, because he had just graduated and he stayed at the school for a few years. And when I went back was it Josh? I think Patino. He left. No, I don't remember who it was. When I went back, they were going through a coaching change again. And so Colin applied for it and I applied for it. And we were like, all right, if either of us get it, we're each other's assistant. Like we had this whole like roadmap planned out and everything. We were like, we could bring Sean down here. We could bring Court back out here. Like we could get everybody. But no, yeah, we got super close that year that I went back. But yeah, he's a good guy. He's a police officer now, right? And just recently engaged or dating.
yes, engaged.
I think engaged. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are all growing up.
Well, yes. I mean, same with you. Family, kids now, and yeah.
I have
Considering
so many
you
children.
and Mo used to we went from Matty Mud Pies to kids and 50-cent wing night at McAdoo's. It's been a lot.
Dude, I haven't even thought about a Matty Mud Pie in years.
I started thinking about it when we started talking again. I was like, dang, it sounds good right now.
Matty Mud Pie and wings. Yes. Some pickle spears. Oh my gosh. Dude, I miss McAdoo's. Shoot. We don't have anything like that out here. There's nothing like McAdoo's. That's unreal.
Pretty good place.
Yeah. Mo's gonna lose her mind when she hears you talk about Maddie Mud Pies. She said to say hello, by the way.
Yes, hello.
We're 50 minutes in, and I'm just now telling you that Mo says hi. Oh my gosh.
It's all good.
That's unreal.
But,
So okay, yeah. So you did a year. You
uh-huh.
did a year at SVU, and then you were politely asked to leave. And then you didn't come back. We'll say that you didn't come back, and then I feel like we kind of talked here and there, but like what have you been doing? Because I know we talked a little bit about what you're doing for work because I was doing stupid MLM stuff and wanted to get involved and whatever. But what are you doing now?
So yeah, I mean, so my official title is property manager.
Okay, nice.
Well, I work for a company that manages apartment communities and develops commercial real estate. So yeah, I manage apartment communities, and I basically started that. So when I first came home, I did a little bit of community college.
Okay, which one?
It's at the time it was called Thomas Nelson,
Okay.
but it's now changed.
Dude, all the Virginia Beach, Northern Virginia community colleges change their name all the time.
Yeah.
Or like they'll add titles or yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tidewater changes all.
Probably because, it was at the time where, like we were moving away from schools called Robert E. Lee and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So it's now just called like the Peninsula Community College. And I did a couple things there, and because we're on the peninsula,
that's funny. Peninsula Community College
in Hampton Roads. Yeah, because where I live, it's technically called Hampton Roads, which makes up 7 cities.
Yeah.
And you have a south side, which is like your Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, and then you have the peninsula, which is like Yorktown, Williamsburg, Newport News, Hampton. And yeah, again realized, why am I doing this school thing? It just like I couldn't even do fractions. Okay, like what
I can't. I still can't. And I graduated. I still can't.
So, yeah, just did a little bit. And unbeknownst to me, sorry, Mom, if you ever watch this episode, my friends would pick me up and we would go to like Barnes and Noble and get a drink and hang out and not go to class. So, things you do at 18.
Barnes and Noble?
Yeah.
The closest Barnes and Noble was like Stanton or Roanoke.
Well, around there, but by me, it's
when you got home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was
okay. I got you.
Yeah, my first year home.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then my mom's best friend works for the company that I do. And she basically said, "Hey, you're a people person. I know you can talk to a plant if you need to. Have you ever thought about property management?" I was like, "I've never heard of it." And she was like, "Well, why don't you come work for me, kind of as a test and see if you like it?" And here I am. 12 this year was 12 years.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Good for you. Good for you. Honestly, like 12 years at one company, you don't hear about that anymore. People don't spend 12 years at one company. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, pretty good. They treat me well. And I've done all sorts of things. And so, yeah, I mean, we're kind of responsible for budgets and making sure residents who are living in the apartments are good to go and changing their light bulbs or fixing their ACs and kind of doing all of that stuff. So, yeah.
Sure. Wow.
And it's an industry that a lot of people kind of, I now have come to realize, a lot of people fall into.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people, I guess, don't go to school to be a property manager, which makes sense.
Fair.
But most of us are probably people person. I tell people we're all very ADHD. If you meet us property managers, we're all very undiagnosed adults with ADHD.
Yeah.
And it works because no day is the same. Because I don't know if I could do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know, a water leak or a roof leak or something always going on. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so 12 years later, here I am. And it's like I said, it's kind of an industry that you don't have to have a college degree, or a
Sure.
degree in general. They love experience, and
Good.
you kind of, they do have industry specific certifications that I've gotten a few of and those kinds of things. So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and that's nice that kind of not fell into your lap, but like was there and was available, after not wanting to go to college and then not going back to college and then kind of going to college, but Barnes and Noble instead.
Yeah, yeah,
And then poof, hey, would you like a job? That's
yeah.
must be nice, right?
Because it was one of those things that I did a little bit of community college after college, um, and my mom kind of had one of those mom talks, and kind of sat me down like, "Hey, if you're going to continue to be at home and live at home with the services that living with mom and dad provide, um, that you either go back to school full time." And obviously, we know where that's been the last couple of years, so maybe that's not the option. And so my parents politely looked at me and said, "Well, you either find a job or we join the military." Right?
Oof.
Right? Like I'm not in a
Wow.
not like in a harsh way, but
No, but I mean that's an ultimatum for you.
hey, you're now 19. What are we
Yeah.
doing? Where are we going? What aspirations do you have in life? Kind of conversation. Um, and I don't think at that time I thought maybe growing up I wanted to be in the military just like my dad.
Hmm.
Maybe not after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, here came my mom's friend, and I said, sure, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. Love that. 12 years later, you're still doing it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Man, I what was
Provided
I
I
doing
did a
12
stress
years ago?
sometimes. uh,
Yeah.
like for example, this winter, when we had a cold snap in Virginia, I had four.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cold for a long time
Yeah.
this winter. I
Yep.
had four pipes in four different buildings bust on patios, so like 16 apartments were affected, and you got to move people and carpet and drywall and do all these things. So,
Like simultaneously or throughout the season?
so no, like one went off, and then 2 weeks later another went off, and then actually, as I was shutting the water off to one building, the other building went off.
My gosh.
Yeah. So what happened?
That's wild.
It was one of those weeks where it was like 20 degrees for 3 days, and then it got to
Yeah.
50. So all that frozen water started moving, and there went my pipes. Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah.
That's terrible. Yeah, my mom is I love her. Love my mom. She is very big on we have a family group me and a lot of the things she sends will be the weather updates. And we appreciate it. But yeah, all winter it was like it's now 15 degrees. And then the next day it was like now it's 45. Like just the
Pretty much.
Virginia weather was
Yeah.
nuts last year.
We
Yeah,
went,
we did winter. Yeah,
but yeah, no, we went to Colorado in March to visit some family. March.
fun.
And they were talking
Yeesh.
about how yeah, it was actually 80 degrees every day I was there in Colorado. Uh,
Yeah.
and they were talking about how like the snowpack was the lowest level in years. Um, that they had a really warm. I mean, my aunt said she played golf almost 3 times a week in December in Colorado, which is great.
My
Uh,
gosh.
but we in
Yeah,
Virginia
Utah
were
was
the
like that
ones that
too.
were having 19-degree weather at night, and we had snow like 3 times this year.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
been we had a busy winter for Virginia. So
Wow. Yeah, winter in Cali was boring. But we also, I mean, we were in like one of the hottest areas in the state. So our winter, we would have like 30-degree differences night to day. So we'd go like 70 to 80 degrees during the day and then drop to like 45, 50 at night. So our kids were sick for 3 months because their bodies couldn't figure out what was going on. And just like, yeah. Oh man. No, yeah, that Virginia winter was crazy last year. We're excited for hopefully for Utah winter. Cause yeah, this last year was terrible. We're hoping that maybe us being here will be good luck. We'll get some snow.
Maybe that'd be nice.
We'll see. The kids want snow on Christmas, and I can't even remember. I can't remember the last time I had a white Christmas. It's probably 20 years ago, but
Yeah,
oh man,
I don't remember either.
yeah, that's wild. All right, we obviously have to talk about it. World Cup. We've already said I love the drama. I have been all about the drama. I want Infantino out. I have completely changed the way I think about Messi, which has made me cry like for weeks. But I want to hear what parts of the World Cup do you want to talk about? I mean, obviously Spain winning was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we can start there.
Okay.
No, yeah, I mean, obviously it's great. I actually was in Spain during the summer of 2010,
Oh,
and 2008, and for that Euro Cup too. So
oh my. Yeah.
yeah, it was. I mean, and we had a big watch party at my house. We had some family friends over, and we had the game on, and my mom made paella, and we did a bunch of things. Everybody brought
Yeah.
finger food and stuff. So,
Yeah.
no, it was a really great time. Very emotional as a soccer player,
Yeah, I'm sure.
and kind of the way, and everybody always tells me, oh, Spain plays so boring, Spain plays so boring, which, okay, they didn't score 4 goals like some other teams, but
Okay,
I
so their
mean,
scoring is boring, but their play is perfect.
right, I think it's a kind of a testament to
Man.
this total control style that Spain, obviously, same thing. If you watch '08 Spain with Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets, which in my humble personal opinion, that's a little biased as a Spaniard, is the best trio of a midfielder of all time, but yeah.
No, I agree. I think best international midfield of all time.
So, but yeah, and I mean, we came into the tournament obviously as favorites. Starting the tournament, it didn't look so great.
Nope.
Testament to Cabo Verde, the only team to hold Spain to a non-win. So,
And Argentina.
yeah.
Both finalists.
So,
Both finalists. Yeah.
yeah. So it was, yeah, a lot of emotion in there. And I will say, I guess my hot take for Spain is the whole tournament, I was tired of. I love watching him play. I think he's a fantastic player. He's only 19, but I
Mhm.
could not stand when they would go Lamine Yamal in Spain, Lamine Yamal
Yep.
in Spain,
Yep.
and it's like,
Yep.
okay, yes, he is the face now of the team, but what about Rodri in Spain? Or how about the 19-year-old Kubarsi, who
My
it,
gosh.
like reminded me of a Carlos Puyol who didn't let
Yep.
anything by. Right.
Yep. Yep.
And so, and maybe Yamal didn't have the best tournament, but it almost kind of helped us because we weren't so reliant
Hmm.
on him, which isn't a
Yep.
bad thing. But yeah, I mean, drama, drama, drama. I think Messi could have had a red card in his first game with
I think Messi
with
should
the tackle,
should have had a red card in his first game.
right? Other
Yep.
people were carded for the
Yep.
same thing. So
Hmm.
there's a little bit of that, and then of course, politics, what it may be of the world, got involved in,
Yeah.
especially that U.S. decision and reverse.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Which I thought, the U.S. played great until Belgium. They kind of fell apart. They looked tired. They looked grumpy. And
Yeah.
same thing, right? It's always Christian Pulisic in the U.S. Christian Pulisic in the U.S. When people like, in my opinion, McKennie and Adams had a much better tournament than anybody, but
Mm.
they don't get talked about.
Yep.
But
Yep.
so, and yeah, I mean, but it wouldn't be a World Cup without a little bit of drama. Um,
True.
But
True.
I mean, for me, the best part is watching people like Scotland sing their national anthem, um, and watching like Mexicans cheer on South Koreans in their games in Mexico.
That was that was so cool.
You know,
That connection was wild.
and for me, that's the part of football that we all love. That's the
Yeah.
part that's the beautiful game, in my
Yep.
personal opinion. Yes, obviously the stuff that happens on the field is the beautiful game, but I think, I saw a bunch of jokes that, oh, international fans did more for world peace than anybody else, and it's just always funny because, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, the Koreans are cheering on the Mexicans and the Dutch
Yeah.
in Texas with their bus, and
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was awesome too.
it's something that I don't think you can compare to other sports. Um,
No, nothing else
and
does that.
I don't, as a former player, I don't like the hydration breaks.
Oh my gosh, those drove me nuts.
I get doing it for every game if you want to make it fair. I get that side of it from a logistics standpoint and just making it fair across the board. But even in Qatar, they didn't do hydration breaks except over a certain degree.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and I think there's maybe a handful of games
yeah,
that they did hydration breaks.
I mean,
Maybe.
Mexico's opening game was like 77 degrees.
Yeah. Yep.
And like I'm yelling
Let's
at
have a water break.
yeah,
Let's
I'm
have a
yelling
water
at
break.
as a former player going, these are supposedly professional athletes. You're telling me they can't run for 90 minutes right now?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so, of course, then they throw the ads in there during the hydration break. And so, yeah, but like I said, I don't think it would be a World Cup without some drama for sure.
But yeah. Yeah.
And I think the drama can add to it and make it a little more fun sometimes.
For sure.
But yeah, I think there is something big to look at. Obviously, considering what FIFA just went through and a potential selling of World Cup stakes.
Yeah,
And,
that was crazy.
so I think there's something to look at that obviously some of the world and maybe a lot of the world doesn't care about the commercialization side of it, right? And kind of stick to the game. I mean, good on UEFA for immediately coming out and going, "Hey, our 55 teams are just not going to ever play in a FIFA tournament again." Like,
Yeah. And then issuing a vote of no confidence after that to get
yes,
Infantino out, which I was like, when they first announced that they weren't going to participate or they were going to boycott until it was gone, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. And then it was like 2 days later, they were like, oh, also, we're putting in a vote of no confidence. So yes, and I cheered. I actually yelled. I was sitting at the computer and Mo was out in the living room and I was like, yeah. She was like, what happened? And I was like, UEFA wants Infantino out. And I heard her go, okay.
okay, yeah,
Okay, whenever you say.
please.
But yeah,
Yeah.
he needs
So
to be out.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't know where FIFA goes from this. I don't know what happens. I hope some
yeah,
changes happen.
yeah.
But yeah, and
Right. Yeah.
just the inconsistency of the reffing really bothered me.
It was so bad.
And some of the things that VAR was looking at, it's like, why are we taking away the power of the man in the center of the field?
Yeah. Well, VAR, they broke VAR protocols.
So many times.
I think it was, well, yeah, but there were clear and obvious VAR protocol errors like 4 times in a World Cup. And like I can understand like maybe you're in college and it's D1 and it's VR and it's new and you don't do something right. Okay. It's the World Cup. This is the epitome of football. And there's at least 4 clear breach of protocols from the technology that you profess is going to help the game. Like, yeah, VAR was a mess. The reffing was, I agree with you. It was so inconsistent because there were some games that I felt like were reffed so well, and other games where I was like, why is this person a referee at all? Like
Yeah.
at any level?
Is this person getting a foul or a not foul or whatever it may be? Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, it's always different when you're a former player.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have a little bit more emotion into it. But
Oh, yeah.
and of course, watching Spain play, of course, it's not a foul. But when it's against Spain, it's a foul, of course, right? That's how it is.
Every time.
So, but yeah, I mean, it is a World Cup. I still enjoyed watching it. I don't know anybody who didn't enjoy watching it. Maybe
Yeah.
people who wanted a 80-point game, like in the NFL or something, maybe.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is. I think it did a lot of good. More than there were some iffy things being talked about right before the start of the tournament, with just people who couldn't get in or people who couldn't come or those
Oh yeah.
things.
Yep.
So it was like, ooh, what are we doing here, right?
Yep. Yep.
I think it did a world of good. But I think it also showed the U.S. is still not ready to compete at a world stage.
No, we're not even close.
And
Not even close.
I mean, being a dual citizen, I could have been dropped off at an academy for Real Madrid or Barcelona or any of those teams. I mean, even the second division teams have academies from U9 to U15,
Yeah.
right? And you don't pay for any of it. And so that's obviously a conversation for a different day. However,
I got time.
so I think it just shows that we need to make a change. I think the World Cup still showed me that I don't like Alexi Lala still.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Rebecca Lowe is the best sports presenter of all time.
She's the biggest blessing to the game of football. I love her.
So, but yeah, so I don't know. And it's sad because the first couple of games, it was like, oh, wow, can the U.S. kind of make a run, home turf advantage? Like, here we go, boys.
Yeah.
Um, And like I said earlier, I've always kind of rooted for Spain. I grew up watching Real Madrid. I grew up, that kind of stuff. And for the first time in a long time, I actually felt really, really happy and proud to root for the U.S. soccer team, uh, which I guess, I mean, I've lived here my whole life, so I probably should root for them. But so, yeah, I just definitely need to make some changes. I think Pochettino is great. The kind of the aggressiveness he brought to them. They were, very aggressive, very well organized in the front half. Defense was a little shaky.
Yeah.
Um,
I have some thoughts on that.
So yeah, I don't know why Tim Ream was there. That will be my thought.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
So yeah, and I'm glad he's signed on through 2030. I think
Yeah, me too.
it'll give him some consistency, and obviously having a coach for a couple extra years always brings consistency. But yeah, I thought it was great. Obviously, there are changes that need to be made, and I think he has kind of the bravery to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not play a star where they normally would or things like that. I think he's the person who kind of has the bravery to do that, which is maybe needed.
Yeah.
So
I think Pochettino is the kind. I think it's been evident since he came in that he is not going to cater to anybody.
that's a good
And he played Christian because everyone thought Christian was healthy, and if Pulisic is healthy, he needs to play just based off of sheer talent. Like I get that, but at the same time, I feel like Pochettino. I think he's going to have a much bigger influence than just on the first team. I think he's the kind of guy that's going to have the influence on USSF as a whole because he's got that experience. He's grown up in the game and he's seen all of that. And yeah, I think that so this first transition period, I guess, of him coming into the squad and creating the culture within the first team has been great to see. I think that it's what's the word? Not expanded. It's improved a lot on previous first teams where we haven't had a culture, or it's been I've been saying for years. I've felt like the Christian Pulisic's, the Tim Weah's, the even Tyler Adams and Weston to a point feel entitled. They feel entitled to their spot and their position, and I think Weston and Tyler handle that better. I have thoughts on Tyler Adams too, but I think they handle that better than I feel like Christian just expects to be handed the world of U.S. soccer, and it drives me nuts. Did you see after the World Cup when Jermaine Jones went off on the USSF?
Did not.
He went off and he basically removed himself from any association with the USSF, and then he started name dropping. And so it's like this 4-page Instagram post of typed out notes. And he's like, the first two are I can't do it anymore. I can't be part of USSF. I can't support this, blah, blah. Then he goes and he's like, it's Cindy Parlow Cone. She's ruining everything at USSF. She's ruining everything in US soccer. She's enforcing pay to play. So Jermaine Jones who grew up in Germany, played in Germany, right? Played in the international system. He's like, she's forcing everything. She has to go. So I don't know how much validity there is to that, but I've been a big get her out for a while too, personally. And then like you look at like, what was his name? Was it Matt Crocker? The guy who came over from England to be the director, and then he left. Like just I'm hoping that Pochettino's influence will quickly reach into more than just first team stuff, and that he'll have that influence with getting to have a full cycle. Because you think about like another one that I don't agree with everybody on is Cavan Sullivan, whatever his name is, the kid that's at Philly, and then when he turns 18, he's going to City, and he's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a good player. He's 16 years old. He's a good player. Yeah, I mean the anticipation is he's going to be at the World Cup 2030, right? And so how is Pochettino going to handle these young kids now, having this full cycle and building that? And you know, Cavan's the kind of story that's coming in instead of Pulisic, right? His time is
kind of
maybe up,
yeah.
right? And so
Well, they're already
working
calling
now.
Messi of American soccer, and I'm like,
oh my gosh, I
here
hated that.
Here we go. He's 16, guys. Like, look what happened with Freddie Adu, right? I mean, 14, here he comes, DC United, U.S. soccer. He's going to be the face, and then kind of cracked under all this pressure. And then, you know, some injuries obviously didn't help him, but yeah.
Oh, I was at his debut game.
Were you? Wow.
For DC, yeah, my dad took us to his debut game, and I remember my dad was like, "This kid's only 14." I think I was, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 11. So he's just a few years older than me. And we go to the game, and my dad's like, "Yeah, he's only 14." And he comes on off the bench, and within seconds just got absolutely smacked by some outside back for whoever it was they were playing. Just got rocked. And I was like for me, I was like, ooh, maybe I'm not sure I want to play this game anymore. Like he got rocked so bad. And it was like that. We idolize these kids when they're so young, and it's, the game is so different here. We can't force that. Like in Spain, even in England to a point, like Max Dowman is what, 16, 17 years old, and he's already scored in preseason. Yeah, like he's unreal.
Well,
but they have the setup there.
Yeah, I think they have the setup, and it's something that I think they've focused on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your people like your Arsenals, your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas, your Bayern Munichs, they all have youth clubs, but they've known to do that because that's what brings in the talent, right? And it's something, and I believe it, I don't know about England or Germany, but I know in Spain, and I don't know if the laws have changed with kind of like child labor laws, but
sure.
when I was growing up, if you played for a youth academy at 14 years old, another youth academy could buy you. Like it could be transferred between youth academies. And I tell people now, I mean, my opinion is, sorry, I hate to say it, if you have a parent that is a dual citizen, convince them to drop you off in that country. You know, I joke with my mom now, I joke with her, and I'm like, you know, why wasn't I ever dropped off somewhere? If it didn't work out, I could have come home, Mom, but I could have, you know, you could have been on a yacht somewhere.
Just drop me in a jet.
But I mean, and it's kind of the nice thing about the U.S. national team now is I think 12 of them or 13 of them now play in Europe.
It was about half the roster.
I think, and in my personal opinion, the 5 big European leagues are still kind of the benchmark for talent and for skill of the game. I mean, look at you know, La Masia in Barcelona, their youth academy. I mean, they crank out players left and right that have this total midfield control mentality. And so, yeah, I mean, not that the MLS system is bad. I've enjoyed watching the MLS at times.
At times, fair. Yeah.
But I truly think until we have a relegation promotion system, there's no incentive right? If you lose
Yep.
and you're at the bottom, and so I think you lose a little bit of that passion, right? I mean, some of the best games at the end of the English Premier League season are those Wolves first. Even this year, Tottenham was what, 2 points away from being relegated, or 3 points away from being relegated, or
they were in the zone for like 3 weeks, which
so
I would say I
the
was so happy.
last kind of few weeks of the season are always so. And then the counter of the beginning of the season, right? You always start with the FA Cup. And you always have somebody like Wrexham beating somebody like Manchester United because they have something to play for. There's that chance of, well, if I do well now, I mean, even look at Wrexham, say what you want. Obviously, Hollywood brought them a lot of money, but they got promoted and then they got promoted and then they got promoted, so.
Well, and that's an aspect of it too.
Stakes in it.
Yeah. The financial side. Well, and to go, so people in the States, one of the things that I get irritated about with a lot of other podcasters and people, they say, well, we have the Lamar Hunt Trophy and we have the US Cup. Like, they're not the same because MLS never sends their first team. You're not sending your first team to go. And I think it was a couple of years ago that MLS said, we're not sending anybody. They can send their academy team if they want to, but like that, it's not the same. But I was going to say, I've seen several people that are saying we want promotion and relegation, but we also want a salary cap because it needs to maintain some kind of Americanness to the sport. And to me, that just counters like promotion and relegation because that's the whole point. Like, you get promoted, you get this massive payday, and you can go buy 15 players for really cheap, or you can go buy one guy who's insanely expensive.
Yeah.
Right. And so saying like, well, we can do Pro-rel, but we need a salary cap. That's just going to make MLS, in my brain, that's going to make MLS with relegation. Like, there's not really incentives with that because, and I do get irritated right now with Inter Miami and all these things that they're doing. Like, you look at the players that they've been able to bring in the last 3 years, makes no sense with all the MLS regulations, right? They've had Messi and Busquets and Alba and Suarez, and they just brought in Casemiro and DePaul. Like, it makes no sense how they get these guys in. And Regulon, like,
it
makes no sense
because the other teams aren't doing that.
No,
right?
No, like Chicago just bought Lewandowski, which
great. He's
great, but also like, what? I watched that first game.
Isn't De Bruyne coming to Chicago?
I think that's an assumption. I don't think that's been officially. Well, I don't know, but like Griezmann just went to Orlando.
Yeah. So
right? Marco Reus is in LA now. Son is in LA now. It's crazy.
Taking a pay cut, right?
Like, they have to. Well, from what I've heard, right? Because Beckham owns Miami. So they're putting in all of these stipulations and extra things on their contract where they're being paid the correct amount, and then they're being bonused,
like with a stock option,
what they were making, right?
Or a partial ownership, or
Yep. And so that, like, to me, that's got to stop, like that, because that's going to turn MLS into, I don't even know what the word would be, but it's just going to be guys. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what people have said for a long time, but I mean, I don't know. I know USL is bringing in Pro-rel. I think it starts next year. And so I'm hoping that with MLS,
PGA can do it, the MLS can do it.
Yes. Yes.
If PGA can change their ways, so can the MLS.
If PGA can change their ways, anyone can change their ways. Golly. No, I think the schedule change with MLS will help instigate some change. But they also, I don't know if you saw, Garber is out next year.
Yeah.
And they just announced the new chairman for MLS, and he is strictly a businessman. He's the former owner of LAFC. And so the in the article they were like, he's gonna sell all of his shares, so everything he does is totally impartial. And I'm reading it and I'm thinking, that's not how the heart works. That's not how a wallet works, right? He's put how many billions of dollars into this, and all of a sudden it's gonna be cut and dry. No, there's no chance. So I don't know. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see in a few years, but I hope we get some change here quick. I think Pochettino will help. I do.
Yeah,
And yeah. And the women's coach too. And I feel bad I'm blanking on her name, but the English lady, she's fantastic. She's fantastic.
Yeah,
And I
she
think
coached
Emma Hayes.
like 2
Emma Hayes.
Euros. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she's a great coach too. And I mean even the women, right? The women, Spanish women hold the World Cup too.
Yeah.
We're like the first team in history to do that.
Yep.
And our
Yeah, that was awesome.
U19 women and men just won the U19 Euro Cup.
Cool. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and
Oh my gosh.
I was looking at it, by 2030, right? People like Kubarsi, Yamal, they're only going to be like 24.
That's insane.
So like we have, and I've been
Oh
watching the
gosh.
U19 Spanish team, and there is another trio of like a Rodri, Pedri, Gavi
Oh, stop.
kind of trio. Yeah, so I think not to like toot my Spanish horn, but I think we're okay for a little.
Toot it, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Golly. That's
So,
awesome.
and I think it helped that Luis de Fuente coached these guys when they were U19. He was the U19
Yeah.
coach.
It makes
So
sense.
he knows kind of how they think and how they act, and he's been with them when they were kids, and he's been with them now at that they're adults. And I think you can kind of gauge your players' mindset a little bit better when you
Mm-hmm.
meet them as a child, and you kind of know how they've grown. You know what makes them anxious on the field. You know what doesn't. So I don't know. But yeah, the MLS in the US, I don't know. I mean, my dad watched it growing up, so we had it on TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, being 2.5 hours from DC United, I'd say DC United was probably our MLS team.
Yeah. Yeah. Us
And,
too.
and so yeah, we watched it growing up, and we went to a few DC United games growing up. And we kind of rooted more for the U.S. women too.
Yeah.
My,
Same.
my sister has a ball that has like Mia Hamm's signature, Brandy Chastain's signature,
Oh, no
and the
way.
little cheeky bugger. They were about to shut down the autograph line, and she was at the back, and she pretended to faint. So Mia Hamm brought her to the front. So she got Mia Hamm's autograph, Brandy Chastain, Clifton, all these kind of great midfielders in the U.S.
Wow.
So it was kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, I went to a lot of U.S. women games with Dad and my sister.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, we watched the MLS, but and it's hard too because it is on a different schedule, right? So when the MLS isn't on, well, what are we doing? Yeah, August comes around the corner. We're watching the Premier League, or we're watching
Yep.
the Bundesliga,
Yep.
or we're watching. So
I do not care about MLS
right.
anymore, though.
So it creates a attitude of there's no purpose to care, right? In the sense
Yeah.
that,
Yep. Yeah.
and I think as living in the U.S. and being the U.S. person and that kind of stuff, we should care about our national league, right? We
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
care about it.
Oh, I love USL. I love USL.
Yeah. Well, we have some. I have some like fifth division team. We have a team called Lions Bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're close by. So, and so those kinds of games they play, and they get some of the college kids that are like
Yep.
in
Yep.
between summers and that kind of stuff. So it's fun to watch. And yeah, tickets are $10. But I mean, our Lions Bridge here, I think their last home game last season. I mean, obviously the season's about to start again, but I mean, yeah, they
Mhm.
get like 4 or 5 thousand people. They get a cover, maybe not that many. I'm thinking probably like 1,000, like a good 1,000. Um,
Still, that's awesome.
so yeah, it's fun, and they bring in the food trucks, and you get people to sponsor the local businesses. So yeah, it's great fun to watch, and the kids are running around playing soccer and
Yeah.
doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's good fun, but
Love that.
yeah, I think some honest changes need to happen. And I think kind of on your point with Pulisic and those kinds of guys, I mean, Carly Lloyd kind of put it best, right? She kind of called him out and was like, you can rest when you retire, buddy. Like, You know, and even Clint Dempsey was like, in the World Cup like that,
Clint was
you,
done.
you would have had to literally pull me off the field to come off the field. I don't care if
Yep.
I limped the
Yep.
rest of the game, but,
Yep.
and,
Yep.
you know, obviously he was hurt. He came off. That is what it is. But like, yeah, kind of saying, "Oh, I can go rest now." Like you just got
You
kicked.
don't say that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you like.
You don't say that.
There's a way to word it. I think you know if you want to kind of mention something of that similarity, but
Mhm.
like y'all just lost 4-1 in a really bad way. Uh,
Yep.
you know,
On home
like,
soil.
that fourth goal should have never happened.
Oh my gosh. The fourth
What
goal,
are you
the
doing
third
clearing it
goal.
out like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That was so
so
bad.
I think there's a couple of them that kind of need to sit and go, what do we as U.S. soccer players either need to do, or what do we want to feel like you said,
Ooh.
there's sometimes, you know, even I remember Gold Cup a couple of years ago, right? People were resting. Well, I'm going to skip the Gold Cup for this, or I'm going to do
Yep.
like, hey, the U.S.
Yeah.
is playing in a tournament. It doesn't matter what tournament it is. You should be there. Period
Yep.
of the story, right?
Yep.
If
Yep.
not, hey, I'll go out there and I'll run around. And if we lose,
I'd love to.
right? But like,
I would love to. Yeah.
so
Yeah. It was Christian that was like, I played too many club games. I need to rest for the Gold Cup.
yeah, and there's a part of that, right? De Bruyne came out last year and said he does think things like ACL tears and that kind of stuff are on the rise because yeah, they do.
Yeah.
You know, they play what? I mean, they had like 82.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say De Bruyne was playing like 80 games a season with City, but Pulisic is playing 40 with Chelsea and Milan. Like he's playing half the amount of games, and De Bruyne's out there killing himself for his country and
Right.
then killing him.
So there is a little bit to
It
that.
shows.
You know, there. But so there's a little bit to that, right? They do play a lot, and
Yeah. Yeah.
when you have like 4 domestic tournaments now, and your league, and the Champions League, and you're on international break, and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So there's a lot,
Mm.
but yeah, you don't finish a loss of 4-1 and basically come out saying, "I
I
can."
get to go rest now. Yeah. No. Yeah. That made me so mad. I
So
was so mad.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a bit of a, like you said, kind of entitlement. They think
Mm.
that they're gonna be handed a spot on the team. And I think, like you said, kind of like somebody like Pochettino will go, no, 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 you didn't play as well as this guy. This guy's gonna go in,
Yep.
which I think
Yep.
needs to happen. You know, like for
Yeah.
me, I don't know why one of my favorite players that comes off the bench is Gio. Why is he not
Mm.
starting? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you ask my father if he was here, his father, Claudio Reyna, and according to my dad, is one of the best U.S. soccer players to ever play. So yeah,
Agreed.
he's from a little
Agreed.
bit stuck there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
little things like that, and I think obviously Pochettino will take a little bit of time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, kind of finding those players that okay, this guy came off the bench last time, but I really think maybe we could slot him in here or there,
Yep.
you know.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, yeah, there definitely needs to be some change.
Yeah. Yeah. If our midfield in 2030 was Tanner Tessman at the 6, Gio at the 10, and then I don't know if he'll be the same. I would say Weston, but it's also 4 years down the road. So if not Weston, then I think I'd say Tanner Tessman, Malik Tillman, and Gio Reyna at a 2030 World Cup. That's a nice starting midfield.
Yeah, well, I mean, even this World Cup,
Starting
right?
midfield.
When they did play well, I thought they looked great attacking.
Yep.
There were times where I was like, "Ooh, there's some European soccer." You know, they had some 1-2 touch
Yeah.
passing and some triangles
Yep.
in
Yep.
there, and I was like, "Ooh, there it is." There's kind of stroke of Pochettino in there. But yeah, that's a good lineup. Yeah, so and it's hard because right, you can look at somebody like a Real Madrid or a Spain or a Germany or somebody like that, and you can go and go, okay, well I've seen these 3 in the U19 or the U18 or the U17 tournaments. Um, I can already know where I'm going to slot them because you know how they're going to play, you know their mindset.
Yep. Yep.
We don't have that development system, right? So we don't have a way, unless Pochettino watches college soccer, right? Which is a path in D1. I mean, it can be competitive, but like we don't have a system to go watch a bunch of 16 American-year-olds or 17 American, like 17-year-olds and go, okay, these kids are going to be kind of my next crop. We just
have
that. And
yeah.
it hurts us, right? I mean, like I said, I watched a video the other day of they were U8 Barcelona team, and they were playing like the team now in the World Cup. They were doing their little passes, and they were, and it's funny to watch them at 8 because the ball's as big as their head, and they're
right.
It's super cute, but
Goes all the way up to their knee. Yeah.
That mindset is already there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was at when we were still in California and I was coaching, I went to MLS Next Fest in Phoenix, which is every MLS Next team in the country comes to this tournament. And it's every division. So there were kids, I think technically there's MLS Next clubs from U19 to like U11 all the way down, but I was only watching the U19, U18, U17 or U19, U17. And I watched some of the worst football I've ever seen. And these are the kids that USSF is saying play MLS Next to get better and to, this is our top club level in the country. And it was legitimately, I saw some of the worst football I have ever seen because there's no process within MLS Next. Anyone can become an MLS Next club. They just have to pay for it. So there were teams there with 12 players playing against teams with 30 plus players. And occasionally the 12-player team would just wipe the floor with a 30-player team because those kids had played together or they had a better coach, or there's no consistent structure across the board. And it's just a mess. It's just a mess. The academy teams were amazing.
I bet.
My gosh. I'm sure. Oh my gosh, dude. Vancouver's academy team, they had this center back who's like 6'5" and I think they had the best defensive record at the entire tournament. They were amazing. But yeah, MLS Next as a whole, a mess. The academy teams, great.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Because those are the kids that are paying
the academies are the
$15,000.
ones that, the academies have the resources and the coaching staff and the, that kind of stuff. And like, if it's a Vancouver academy, well, Vancouver is obviously putting resources into that program, which is what, again, a lot of the European clubs are doing. And I mean, there were times, if you ask me, like, in prime Spain, I'd say, 208, 08 to 12. There were times where I would watch an MLS team and I was looking at them on TV going, Real Madrid's U15 team could beat this MLS team right now.
Yep.
And
I still do that sometimes.
Yeah. And it's come a long way, I think, from 10 years ago when I was a kid. But I mean, there are times where, like, for example, Yamal, you say it, he's 19, right? Which is crazy. In the Euro Cup 2 years ago, he was finishing homework in between games.
Yeah.
It's like, what was I doing at 19? Oh, I was being picked up by my friends going to Barnes & Noble.
Right.
Skipping class, right? I wasn't on a field somewhere, which, of course, I think as a player, we're always, there's a little jealousy in there,
Oh, there's
but
always
we can't all be
a lot of jealousy in that.
Yes, that's not the way of the world. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know where it goes. And then, of course, Alexi doesn't help when he comes out and go, what's wrong with paying to play? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, pay to play is great. Pay to play is the best thing we can do for you. No.
Okay.
The craziest part for me about being at Fest, every single academy team, 0 American accents on staff. 0. Not once did I hear an American accent on an academy staff team.
I mean,
academy team staff. None.
Should kind of be like a telltale sign.
Yeah. And a super red flag. Like there is something wrong with the USSF if we can't get a single American coach on staff to be a competitive MLS Next Academy. That was, and I just thought of that a few minutes ago. I was like, yeah, that.
I mean, even my travel coach growing up, I had a coach named Jimmy who was Greek. And then I had a coach who was my longest coach. His name was Steve O'Neill, and he was British. And yeah, I don't think I had an American, minus if you count my dad when you're playing rec soccer, right? Or when you're like Pee-wee, little, just running after it. But like in true competitive fashion, besides obviously
we're not up to snuff.
Besides high school soccer, but
yeah.
I mean, I had a British guy, I had a Greek guy, and knowing the other coaches in the club that I played for, I mean, yeah, maybe one or two.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite was actually a female coach who took me under her wing. Caitlin was her name. She was
awesome.
Probably one of the best coaches I've had.
That's cool.
But yeah. No, I mean, no Americans.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, it was. I don't know what needs to change, but I mean, I think we know what needs to change, but obviously, people like you and me don't. We're at the bottom of the totem pole, right? So we do what we can by supporting who we can and where we can, and being passionate about our team, and that's kind of how we make our mark, so to speak, on our soccer team. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was good. It was fun. The World Cup was fun. I liked the amount of games. I think. Right.
I go back and forth on it. Yeah.
I don't think we need to go all the way up to like 64. Right. I don't need to see like, the Philippines playing Tunisia or, whatever other teams are going to make it.
Or the Philippines playing Spain.
Right.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen is we're going to get like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's more of a chance to have some disparity. I've kind of seen some rumors that the idea for 64 is to go back to the top two from each group rather than
You'd have to
like a third place set of teams, which I liked the third place thing. I think it gave those guys something to play for. I don't think it always worked out because, of course, the way they did it, it wasn't based off of strict goal differential or anything.
Yeah, there were so many different things.
So I think it was one of those things that the idea was there. It was different. Maybe it wasn't executed, I think, to the best of its ability that it could have been. But it showed that, I mean, like I said, I mean, when you suddenly have 8 third-place teams, well, I have to play my last group stage game. Like, it's no longer just we're going to kind of go out there and play our game. Like, you got to go, right? Because there's still that little bit of chance, a little bit of hope. So I think it added a little bit on the, smaller teams. Cabo Verde got through and kind of those guys. So, which, I mean, I think teams like that come out with nothing to lose anyways. And what's his name? Vizinha? I can't pronounce it.
Vizinha?
Yeah, the goalkeeper. I mean, for him, 42 or 3 or whatever he was.
40 old.
And, he had a great tournament the whole time. And I think, I saw the president gave him like a national holiday named after him now. And
that's awesome. I didn't see that.
For him when he got home and that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
And Mom and I are like, well, what if we go on vacation there? So, so it's kind of, so little things like that. And I think that's always the other part of the World Cup. That's fun. But US
for sure
needs some changes. And it's, as a US soccer fan, we come back to it every 4 years. The U.S. needs some changes, and everybody talks about the changes the U.S. needs to make. And we go to the next World Cup, and here we are.
Yep.
Right? Like it doesn't change.
Yep. I will die on the hill of Taylor Twellman and his "What Are We Doing" explosion. That was like, because prior to that, I wasn't a huge Taylor Twellman fan because I was a 9 and it felt to me like he was kind of like that, the arrogant 9, and like I didn't play that way. I wanted to play the more like creative and like a false 9, and he was just like arrogant, like I'm the best, and that's what it felt like. But then that night, when he came out and called out U.S. soccer and exploded, and what are we doing? That was like, I think that was one of the best moments from a U.S. soccer pundit I can remember. Just not holding anything back, calling people out. And I actually posted an episode where I referenced that a lot and said the same thing. Still, like, what are we doing? 9 years later, what are we doing? Nothing's changed.
And I mean, kind of like I said, you know, we go through this cycle of World Cup happens, we need to make changes. We play bad in a Gold Cup. We talk about needing to make some changes. We get back to a World Cup. Here we are again. Where are the changes? What changes did we make, if we made any? And then, yeah, our players are still sitting there like, we don't want to play.
Yep.
I mean, you don't want to play.
Yep.
The rest of us watching you would truly, I mean, yeah, I'd give you my arm to put on a U.S. jersey and be out there on the field. Like,
100%.
what do you mean you don't want to play for the World Cup? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Thierry Henry, and he was speaking about Arsenal, but the concept is valid. He said, if the badge is too heavy, take it off. The badge is too heavy, take it off.
Is that wrong?
Yeah. I think Pochettino is going to bring that weight back to the badge. I think that's kind of been gone for a little bit. I think he'll bring that back. Yeah. Oh, man. I have kept you a long time.
You got nowhere to go, so.
I have to always ask the same question of everybody. So, thinking about the podcast and you know, trying to help out people and balance and faith and life and athletics and all the things. If you could give one piece of advice, what is Sean's piece of wisdom? Golf more is totally appropriate.
Yeah, golf every day. Call out of work.
Golf every day. Yes.
I tell people probably to find fulfillment in the things that aren't necessarily the societal things of fulfillment. If that makes sense, right? I'm 31.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, I don't date, not on purpose, but it doesn't bother me, right? In that sense. Because, people like my mom ask me, well, aren't you sad? Like, your friends have dates or wife or children or that or that. So I think for me, it's finding those pieces of fulfillment from things that aren't the norm and being okay with that, right? Like for me, I have a great group of friends who we golf every week. We see each other every week. We do wine nights or hang out and do movie nights. We still go to Marvel movies when they come out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about. Okay, sorry. I think we're going Saturday. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm books, movies, and things. So I think it's finding those kinds of things and being okay with taking the fulfillment of that, and realizing you're not behind because it kind of sounds like a cliche, but you're not necessarily behind because you're not married at 30 with 2 kids and a house right. So yeah, I think, and love can come from a lot of places. In the sense, same thing, kind of circling back to my friend group. Like I said, I mean, for me, that is my fulfillment, is my friend group. Being call that person at 2 a.m. and knowing they'll pick up. And it's a little different than some other people, and other people's fulfillment comes from different places. But so yeah, I think for me, it's finding those things that fulfill you or make you happy, even if it's as simple as buying yourself a drink that makes you happy, and we have to be okay with those little things because the world can be heavy and dark at times. And you don't know what happens, right? In the sense of right? My father died unexpectedly, right? He came home from a surgery and was fine, and then the next day he wasn't, right? So I think finding those little things that make you happy, um, as one of my favorite people say, right? Gandalf, right? Why the halfling, right? He always says, "Why?" Galadriel asks him, "Why the halfling?" And he's,
Why the halfling? Yeah.
people think great power holds back evil, when in reality, it's the little things that we do every day. So if we all do those little things every day that make us happy and fulfill us, I think it's okay, right? It'll be okay.
Yeah.
And it's hard
Yeah.
to, come to that conclusion, um, especially being single and 31 and seeing people on social media who are getting married and having children and buying a house, and
Sure.
I
Sure.
don't have any of that.
Oh,
Right? So,
buying a house. Jeez.
yeah. And I know, yeah, you guys
Someday.
went through, you had a great house, and you guys had to move, and because they were selling the house you guys were living in. So yeah, but yeah, those little bits of pieces. I don't know. I didn't come with any wisdom. Put me on the spot there.
That was perfect. That was
So,
perfect. That
but
was
yeah, no,
perfect.
yeah, we still go to Marvel movies. Spider-Man was great.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
not gonna say anything.
nothing. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll just say it's great. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I have a group that comes over every Wednesday. We're on a year of the same D&D campaign. Um, and I see your book back there, which I have. The book you wrote. Yeah.
You have it?
Yes, of course I have it. I reread Lord of the Rings once a year. Um,
That's awesome.
it's
Book 2 is almost done. I
yeah,
have I
wait.
have I have a chapter and a half that I have to write. I just wrote a death and it was really traumatizing. So
Oh,
I know. I know. But yeah,
but yes,
that's awesome.
those little things that it's okay to have the little things. Obviously, big
Mm,
things are great too, but
yeah.
really after and kind of going through the experience of going through school and doing things the way we're supposed to do things,
Yeah. Yep.
and it not working out, right? For me, that big thing didn't work out,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think a lot of little things can be as equal, if not greater, than a big thing for me.
Oh.
Um,
Ooh.
and obviously everybody's different, and everything works out differently for people. But
Mm.
yeah,
No, that's
like
fantastic.
I have a to be read table behind me here, that has books, and it keeps growing, even though I don't keep reading. You're right; they
Yep.
they don't
Yep.
have the to be read shelf.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's those little things, and it doesn't have to be monetary, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could be going for a walk. As simple as that, right? My mom and I, obviously, since my dad died, my mom and I are really close, and I moved out of her house to move 3 stoplights down from her. So, my mom and I go to dinner once a week, and we have a group
I
chat
love
with my
that.
sister, and so we chat all the time because my sister being in the military, is different every year. Every 2 years or 3 years,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
somewhere different.
Yep.
We've learned to take those little things, and if she was stationed in California, we went to California. If she was stationed in Ohio, we went to Ohio. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think having that group around you too, that support group, um, especially friends. I think a lot of people undervalue friendship, um,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
how important they are to your psyche. Um, and yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
I
my
wa-
word of wisdom to the world.
yeah. No, it's fantastic. I wanted to jump on something that you just said, going back to something that you said earlier that I wanted to mention that I forgot about, bringing up friends and the importance of friendship. And um, as a little segue, I mean, I've struggled with that for years because we've moved around so much, and so it's hard to develop friendships. But one thing you said earlier about SVU was that you felt like, some of that core group for you at SVU really started to feel like family. And I think that one of the things, and it felt that way for me a lot too. And I grew up at SVU, right? My dad's been there forever. He started the soccer programs. I've been around all of it. But when I attended SVU myself, it was totally different. And those kind of relationships started to develop for me. A guy who we started freshman year together and then went on missions, and then I went back and he went to BYU. He's moved around. So they've moved 10 times in 10 years. We've moved 19 now in 12 years. But they also just moved to Utah. He lives like 2 minutes from my house. And neither of us ever wanted to live in Utah. And so now we're talking all the time, and we're that relationship is still there. I had Court on the podcast. I had Jake on the podcast. I've had you on the podcast. And I think that one of the cool things about, and I completely agree with you on the friendship aspect. I think there's an added level when you think about, I call it non-blood. My non-bloods, like you and Court are my non-bloods, right? Like I will talk to you for the rest of my life probably. And it won't be weekly. Sorry. It might not be monthly, but we're always going to catch up, right? Me and Court are always going to catch up. And there's some kind of a bond that just happens that you have to keep, and you have to put time into it. So I love that. I think that exactly what you said, friendships are underrated. They really are.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I
yeah,
love that.
it's yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there's times where we all wish we'd be better in contact with people, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, obviously life happens, people move on, and yeah, you do grow apart with people, but yeah, I think there comes a certain point um where there are always going to be certain people in your life that, whether you call it divine intervention or fate, if you're more on that side of the spectrum,
Yep. Yep.
if it was his doing or not his doing, science or faith spectrum, I call it
the faith spectrum.
the faith spectrum of the stars, or divine intervention. I think
Yeah.
people come into your life for a reason. Um,
Mm.
Now that I'm
Yep.
older, people like Court, people like you, yeah, I think there's certain people that come, and like you said, it might not be weekly, it might not even be monthly, but it's one of those things that if 2 months from now I was in a car and I just needed to talk to somebody, I know I could probably give you a call, right? Like, or a text or something like, "Hey, buddy, what's up? I'm just
Yeah.
doing,"
100%.
kind of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, and because everybody says, "Oh, your high school friends you kind of grow away from." Where my group of probably core, there's like 8 of us, 9 of us that are the core that see us every week. They are my high school friends. We all went to high school together.
That's awesome.
And we kind of, college and came away, and now people are back. And people work in the area. And so, yeah,
It's awesome.
those are my kind of rocks, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely friendship undervalue. And yeah, and like you said, it's hard for some people. Um, I think it's hard as an adult to do it. Um, and now with everything online that it can be a little more difficult. Right? People don't just go out to like a function or a music or and kind of just chit chat with people, right? It is.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
um, yeah. So I think finding those little things, or even if those little things are people in your life that you need to keep around.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Find the fulfillment in non-social norms.
Yeah. And
Right.
because, like I said, right? I mean, I'm 31, so by social norms, I should have a house, I should be married, I should have a kid, I should, right? Like, and some that's not happening. And yeah, like I said, I mean, my mom asks me a lot, right? Like, are you okay? Are you sad that you don't have that? And it's like, no, because I see the same 8 people, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right? We have, and a couple of my friends now are engaged and getting married, but because we're a core group, all the groomsmen are the same and all the wedding, right? So like
Yep. Yep.
it's so yeah, that's my happiness comes from that, from those fulfillments. Yeah, I mean, would it be nice to come home to somebody that I call my own? Sure, probably, but who got time for that? But so yeah, I think, and it's different for everybody. So you just got to find
Yeah.
those little things.
Love that. I love that. Yeah. And touching on, something you said, little things and people, I think, my little people have not gone to sleep. So I think I have to
Yeah,
go save Mo.
that's
I
a
gotta go save Mo. But dude, it's been fantastic catching up with you and chit chatting and honestly learning more about you.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
you lived on the same floor for a little bit there, and obviously we knew, we had soccer, so that was an immediate connection, and then some other things, but yeah,
Yeah. No, it was good to
great.
it was good to catch up. Good to catch up.
Yeah,
Hopefully your mom sees this one. I think that's my goal is I want Sean's mom to watch this episode and find out all the
I'll
dirt.
probably send it to her.
Send it to her?
Like,
Okay.
"Hey, look, mom, I gave you kudos."
I guess. Yeah, and things that you didn't know. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh no. Did your
Oh,
camera
there you
just
are. Hey, I've been on here.
That was weird. Okay. That
Yeah,
was both of my screens just like freaked out. So maybe
don't
that
worry.
was what it was. It was like, yeah, you need to be done. Okay. Riverside's freaking out. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna go check on these little ones and make sure they're asleep. It's after 9 o'clock here. I swear, if they're not asleep, I'll be nice. I'm a nice dad. I'm a good dad. It's
Be
okay. It's gonna be
nice.
fine. It's gonna be fine. All right. We'll stay in touch better. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Agree.
All right. Thank you, Sean.
See ya.
See you, buddy.